What do you think? A city like Dubai, which is now growing, how can we make Dubai more playful and joyful?
Big dream that would cost more than $500,000.
What makes a city truly livable?
Usually we focus on the shape of the house, the apartment, what's inside, but we don't focus on what's the outside. It's a city that listens to the needs of its people. Talent multiplied by effort, you will get a skill. And take that skill, multiply it with more effort, you will get to the achievement.
Yeah.
And that's this formula really summarized my journey.
Today's guest is unstoppable force of nature. Literally, she's climbed Everest and all 7 summits. Now, she's helping reshape the way we build our cities. We are talking to Dr. Joyce Azzam, UN Women Goodwill Ambassador, resilience coach, conservation architect, social entrepreneur, and one of the few women in the world to scale the highest peaks on every continent. From surviving the world's toughest climbs to redesigning the cities of tomorrow, Joyce's story is about more than summits. It's about grit, vision, and rewriting the rules. Welcome, Dr. Joyce Azzam, on our show.
Thank you, Jasmeet, for having me, and thank you for this introduction.
I think that I've done some justice to the introduction because you've done so much. It's not easy to remember all your achievements.
I enjoyed every bit of it, and I'm happy to talk about all these different aspects of my life with you.
Now, we would love to hear all the aspects from you today. Joyce, most of us know you as a mountaineer. We would like to hear from you about your mountaineering experiences.
So, I am known to be the first Lebanese woman to climb the highest mountain on each continent, including Mount Everest.
Wow.
So, I started this project of mine in 2012. And I completed this big dream in 2019 by standing on top of the world Mount Everest.
Oh, great.
So 7 years of hard work. I can define this project not just as a mountaineering achievement for me. It was a real journey of understanding first how to keep going forward and keep on a really big dream that would cost more than $500,000, how to fund the project, to get the sponsors to believe in the project, to fund it, how to keep training while I am studying, and I am also aiming for more in my education to get my scholarship to do my master's degree in urban design, or to get a scholarship to do my PhD later on at La Sapienza University in Rome. So all these aspects were happening together, and these 7 years were like a really like a foundation for me to make things happen and to understand how to keep on going. So on the mountaineering level, maybe a lot, you know more about this part. I climbed, the highest mountain in Europe, which is Mount Elbrus, the highest mountain in Africa, Kilimanjaro, Denali, the highest in Alaska. I went down to Aconcagua, which is in South America, between Chile and Argentina, and I went to Antarctica, it was an amazing experience. It's a super remote continent, and I had the chance to visit, and not just to visit, to climb the highest mountain on that continent. And then I went also to Oceania as a continent, which is where I climbed Kosciuszko in Australia and the Karstens Pyramid in Papua New Guinea, which also another experience of the jungle. And so all these were intense. We can talk hours about, because we're talking literally about the map of the world.
Yeah.
And for sure, I completed my dream by standing on top of the world on the 23rd of May, 2019.
Oh, great. See, all these achievements are amazing, but if you allow me to touch just for a minute on this subject, I also know that while during your childhood, you had some problem in your knees while growing up, and you overcome that very big challenge, and you climbed the highest peaks across all continents. So, would you like to talk a little bit about that? How did you overcome that challenge?
For sure. I mean, I can see you did your research very well. Because like by now, I forget to talk about this part, which is
a bigger achievement, I think. Yeah, that's a bigger achievement.
Literally.
Yeah.
So I am born with a hypermobility syndrome, and it's activated mostly in my knees, in the joint. So it's some people call it the double joint. So my joint go backward a little bit, much more than others, which I mean, by looking at it, it doesn't really look nice or appealing. So that's why when I was younger, it was a problem also of I didn't want to show it to people. So I tried to stand still. And by standing still, this means making my posture really straight and trying. It means I am working hard. Like my muscles are working out, literally. Yeah. So I remember when I was 8, I couldn't run like 50 meters in the playground at school. And I was like very, very slow, and I couldn't. I had knee pain. And later on in life, I learned about this hypermobility syndrome. But while growing up, my brother George started studying physical education at school, and he took me to the gym. I was around 13 and a half. At this age was really, I feel it was a blessing that my brother could do this for me without, maybe he didn't think a lot about it, but he took me to the gym. We went to the pool, and we started, because in the pool it's high resistance but low impact, to train in the pool. So we started growing the muscles. We went to the gym. I started weightlifting. We worked in 3 different exercises, and every week I would have 5 trainings, like in my program. Yeah. And I started building a muscle mass. And my posture started to be better, and I started to feel stronger. And this was also the foundation to be able, when I was 20, 21, I was like, I want to go hiking. I never went hiking before that, by the way.
Oh, really?
Never, ever. I was born in a city. The civil war was there. Not a lot of possibility, modest family. So no privileges, no potential, possible, to just go and climb a mountain. And afterwards, when I was mid-20s and more, after 6-7 years hiking and climbing and learning, I decided to put the map of the world and say, let's do it. So it was a long journey, but for sure, this hypermobility helped me to understand that it doesn't matter to be the fastest, but what matters is to keep going. And this is what it takes to climb Everest. To climb big mountains, high altitude. It doesn't matter to go fast. What matters really to keep going step after step and step after step. So this really helped me to make it happen and achieve it.
Very, very, very inspiring, because from someone at the age of 13 and a half, when you started exercising, learning new things, and at the age of 21, you decided to climb Mount Everest and all 7 summits. I think that's very inspiring, and it's inspiring for all of us. Right? We all have our own challenges in life. So how to overcome those challenges? I think this is the best story I've ever heard.
I'm very happy today that I can inspire others. That's the best part of my day.
You are inspiring, yeah.
Thank you, but it takes for sure a lot of effort and hard work. There's a formula to it. And I always talk about this formula, like if you have any type of talent, for me, I didn't have the talent because my knees weren't equipped. Yeah. I wasn't equipped physically to climb a mountain, but take any talent, multiply it by effort, you will get a skill. And take that skill, multiply it with more effort, you will get to the achievement. Yeah. And that's this formula really summarize my journey.
But what fascinates me about you, and that's what my next question to you was, that from climbing mountain and to redesigning or reshaping cities. How does this transition happen in your life?
I think when you lead your life with curiosity and the aim or the need to learn more and to grow in learning, you will get to new things you would never even imagine. Like,
absolutely,
which I did because I started in Lebanon studying architecture.
Okay.
And then I wanted to do more. I applied for scholarships. I wanted to study product design in Milano. That was in Milan. Like, that was my dream. It didn't happen, but I got accepted to another scholarship because I applied maybe 200 of them.
Okay.
Anywhere, any faculty. I just want to go. I want to go out. I want to experience the world. I want to travel. That was, when you are 20, I was, when I left, 24. Like, I really wanted to feel this. I was very excited and curious to be in Europe also. And I get the first scholarship. It was in governance.
Okay.
Which is very far from what I studied or what I wanted to study. But life put in my way really interesting subjects and people, so I can divert my attention. And this is very important to remember. Sometimes we want this, but we need also to be present in what's happening around us, because this is where magic happens, literally. Like, you come to my life and you tell me one sentence and I'm listening. Wow, maybe I should readapt. Maybe I should, my goal shouldn't be very stiff. And this is what happened. I took the course in governance and I discovered, oh my God, there's a city to plan. There is, like, we as persons, as a people, we are very affected, and there's a huge, like, the city where we live, the environment impact us positively or negatively. And this fascinated me. And afterwards, I discovered that heritage and cultural heritage is important. And then I went to my studies in my doctoral studies, also through a scholarship. And all of that is scholarship based, Jasmeet.
That's amazing.
You were asking me how to do it together. It takes really a lot of time, but at the end, when I'm sitting with you, it's like, wow, I did this. But when I was doing them, and this is very important for young people, entrepreneur, creating, to listen to this, it takes time. Give it the time. Enjoy it while it's happening, because you will get there. You will get to make your goal, your objective, a reality.
From a teaching profession to climbing mountain, and then to redesigning cities, and a lot more. Your story definitely excites and inspires all of us. That's a very powerful connection, Dr. Joyce. As a real estate person, right, we talk about return on investment, we talk about per square feet price, we talk about buildings, floors, and all of that. But we never talk about what makes a city truly livable. We would love to listen from you. What makes a city truly livable?
It's a beautiful question, because we are just, usually we focus on the shape of the house, the apartment, what's inside, but we don't focus on what's the outside. So in my opinion, a livable city, it's a city that listens to the needs of its people.
Absolutely.
They're like to adapt to their rhythm, to their rituals. Because a city is not just a beautiful, like a well-paved sidewalk or like a good access to transportation. It's much more than that.
Absolutely.
When you are in a city, you can ask yourself 3 questions. Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling safe? And are you feeling connected? So in a city, in my opinion, a city should not just be a built environment, but an environment that can have an access to nature, to heritage. It's connected with its heritage, actually. And for me, a livable city, it is about the different layers that can offer. Access to nature, access to and connection with the cultural heritage, a place where people can pause, literally, like, and contemplate. It's not just about the busy, like, if you have a pathway, but it's shaded and it has an inviting a bench. I'm just giving an example. This is a place you will sit and pause during a hectic day. And this is important for us, for our mental health.
I can relate to the cities we've lived in our childhood. There were a lot of green, there were benches, there were parks, there were places to sit, relax. And as we grew in all those cities, those things faded away and a building took a place, right? So I completely relate to what you're saying.
Unfortunately, and this is the work of designers, urban designers, to help keeping these places where, to keep the city livable, literally.
We need more of designers like you who can rebuild, reshape these cities.
Yeah, it's not really just about breathing clean air in a city. It's about breathing into a calmness and recollecting. You can in a city to recollect yourself when you are in a place where it is very, very stressful and hectic. And we are talking literally about all the big cities of the world.
Absolutely, yes.
But if we want to go to a holistic point of view of, in my opinion, that's what we aim for, and we can do it, especially in a city that it's growing like Dubai.
Yeah. I recently saw your post on LinkedIn to make cities more joyful and playful, not only for kids, even for adults. What do you think a city like Dubai, which is now growing, how can we make Dubai more playful and joyful?
In my opinion, play is not a leisure, and it's not only for kids. We all should keep playing and enjoying, especially with
we misinterpret it many times.
Yes, play is about also when you play with your kid, it's a connection with your friend. And what I mean by play is like the city setting or the urban furniture can help in this. And that was my LinkedIn post. When I saw my baby, who was 15 months only, started walking, and he was playing in one of the urban design here in Dubai. And it made me think, like, we are missing this part in our cities. It should be introduced everywhere. For sure, there is a huge opportunity because today Dubai is growing and is growing fast. But this speed can also, eliminate the potential of including these urban design or urban shapes inside of the city. And this is something we need to be very, very careful about, because it's about not today. We are building for the seventh generation, for like, it's not just about what we are living today and moving on and building, because once it's built, this is where it's hard to remanage and to readapt. Today, we have a huge opportunity in Dubai to create a playful, beautiful city that responds to the needs of its people.
Do you also think that Dubai needs more of communities than just having a towers?
Well,
or how can we make towers also more playful or joyful? Because it's easy to play around with things, maybe get more green, get some parks in a big community. But when we are living in apartments, and most of big cities, not only Dubai, across the globe, they have more of apartments. So how can those apartments be made more joyful and playful?
That's a wonderful question, because especially in the area of downtown Dubai and around it, we have
all apartments only.
All apartments, and this is where initially in the design we can include and implement spaces for dedicated, for community gathering, for the people to be not just rushing to walk or to get to their car or the metro, but a place where they can meet, they can talk to each other, they can play, the kids and the adults
as well.
I believe, really, maybe I'm repeating myself, but it's a matter of design. And here we need to not think tall, but think wise. Wise in a way that, okay, how it's going to impact in impact the people, the community in 50 years from now? Because this is where cities, can be more and more livable. Some cities can be livable for a period, but when you don't take the right design decisions, or you take these opportunities, especially in a city like Dubai, it's growing. There's this huge potential. This is where in 50 years, it can be not livable. And
we are the youngest city, one of the youngest city. Dubai is one of the youngest city. And to shape it is even easier than to reshape a built-up city. So I think, it makes a lot of sense. And when you said adults should also get a place to play and have a joy, I can relate to easily that my 11-year-old definitely has a lot to do in the society and in the community. But when I look at myself, I'm only restricted to maybe gym or a walk or very, very small minor activities there.
Yeah.
One of my favorite idea is that city reflects the people who live and build it. Do you agree?
Absolutely. I think cities are mirrors, literally.
If you agree, then what does Dubai skyline says about its future?
As I said, I believe cities are mirrors, literally, and Dubai skyline represent aspiration, pushing limits, and reinvention.
No.
But for sure, in every city, there is a complexity. I mean, behind all this glass and steel, there is a yearning for, or a calling for identity, coming back to the roots, and a sense of belonging.
I remember you once said that the future is made by the ancestors, something like that. So,
yes.
So what, can you just throw a light on that? Because I like the statement when you made it.
So, throughout my studies in heritage, first I started studying the site, like heritage site, if it's a temple or it's an archaeological site or it's a cultural route. There's different categories and types. But after years and years in the field, what I understand is heritage is about this connection, of between our ancestors and the future and us.
Yes,
today,
absolutely. Yes.
Here, the present. And this connection that because of the study of the conservation of heritage we do as specialists in the field, that's where, there is a continuity in the future. And I will explain myself more, like when there's a rupture, right? Like a big event happen and there's this disconnection, this amnesia that's happening between I don't want to say past, because this is not just, it's not past. It's part of us today. This rupture, there's something wrong in the future. There is something not right in our future, because we are not connected to our ancestors through the tangible and intangible, through our way of dressing up, the way of eating, the way of building. So traditions are part of this heritage.
Yes.
And so here it's about keeping this collective memory. But it doesn't mean we need to be just like our ancestors, but it's a continuity.
And I love the way you connected the past with the future. And the present is part of future and a part of past as well. It was amazing. The way you described was absolutely amazing. You've climbed the toughest mountains. You stood on the top of the world. And now you're rebuilding the cities. What does resilience mean to you?
Wow. I mean, the mountains has taught me to learn, to appreciate failure and learn from it. And
great.
To keep going forward. So to keep going, you need first a clarity, like a plan, a direction, a vision. But then you need to, for sure put a strategy, and you need discipline. Without discipline, you cannot keep going.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
once there is the discipline, this is here, like you are going towards resilience, because it takes different levels in order to get. I never knew that I'm a resilient person because it took me time to learn how to become a resilient person. It wasn't something I was born with. I'm a procrastinator. So
does not look like. I don't believe
you
you.
don't believe it.
Yeah.
But I come from that person.
Okay.
But with time, and it's because it's a learning process. I understood that only through discipline you can make things happen. And discipline doesn't mean you cannot enjoy it and have joy in it. Anything you want to make, you have to have a plan, you have to have a schedule, you have to have a timeline, and this helps you to keep moving and to the next step. And for sure, for me, learning from failure was essential in building resilience and accepting the failure, because it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
So for me, I never, when I do all these motivational talks at school, I say failure is first attempt in learning.
Oh, wow.
So
right. Failure is first attempt
yeah,
in learning.
Yeah. So what I put really, it's fail. First attempt
in learning.
It's not, there is nothing like fail, even if we use the word, it's not negative if you use it well. And really, for me, I failed the first big mountain I climbed, Mount Aconcagua, in 2012. And it was the first out of the 7. But I was starting the strategy wrong, because I went to a really high mountain, technically very hard, and I had to stay in the mountain for a month.
Oh.
Like and I never had experience. And I couldn't get to the summit. I reached literally like to the last camp, and I had to go back home. And all this hardship I lived, all these adversity, the hard nights, sleeping in low oxygen, in hypoxic mode, the cold, the storms. I remember we had to wait 40 hours in the tent in order to storm to pass so we can get out.
Oh.
So these 40 hours were very hard for me, between crying and sleepless and worrying. And all this was not important or not needed, to keep going. And this is why I couldn't summit that time. But from this experience, I learned a lot. When I came back home, I started thinking, why did this happen? And I started reassessing my project. And I started with a strategy where I wanted to climb now the least technical mountain of the 7. And I'm telling you, this first mountain is my mentor, Aconcagua. When I couldn't summit and reach the top, and I'm glad that this happened, because it gave me all the techniques and the strategy to make all the other 7 happen. And after 5 years, I came back to Aconcagua, because in 2012, and I kept it till the end because I knew how hard it is. And I reached the summit on 12 February 2017.
Oh, great.
These are beautiful days in my...
And you remember the dates, year, the month, everything.
Like I remember the date of birth of my baby.
And I appreciate the way you connected past with the future, success with the failure, because these are things, they are interconnected, linked to each other.
Yes.
But you never stopped. Whatever may come, and you never stopped. That's something amazing about you.
Yes, that's the only way, Jasmeet, to make things happen. We will fail. We will not know what we are doing really, but it's about to keep going and trying and understanding and asking and knocking doors and keep, knocking more doors and you will get a no. It's normal. If you don't get a no, I don't know what you are doing.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Maybe you are not doing something really hard.
Yeah.
So if you really want to make something hard happen, which is, this also, it gives you a sense of joy and, to make it happen. And it's also, I'm a competitive person, like I like it. I feel this adrenaline, like, oh, it's hard. Let's do it. So to do this, you need to keep going no matter what. Some nights I was crying. Some days I doubted myself. Some days I had the ideas to stop. I'm not saying I was like, always, I'm a human. I have my feelings. When I go to a CEO and say, this is not an important project. Why you are spending all your time doing it? And I'm in the middle of my project, dedicating all this time. And it has a lot of meaning for me. For sure, it hurts.
Yeah.
It's painful. Like, what are you talking? It's important for me. But then when you understand that, don't take it personal, keep focusing on your goal, keep going, be disciplined, and don't stop. This keep going forward. And no matter how, and you'll never know how. I stood on top of the world, like, that's it. Wow, I made it.
Because you did not stop, you reached top of the world.
Yes.
It's that's resilience. Dr. Joyce, you have broken barriers not only on mountain, but in the field of architecture, conservation planning, urban planning, which are mainly male-dominated areas. When the doors didn't open easily, what did you do to push them?
First, I paused and I took in the doubt. Because when you hear a no, rejection, for sure there's something that happens inside of you. You doubt yourself. Yeah. You start rethinking, did I say it right? Did I ask right? Am I doing the right step? Am I presenting the right project? Why did this happen? For sure, doubt is there. But what comes next is the most important step, is like, in my, life as a mountaineer, I always see this picture that doubts can create mountains. And the only way to overcome them is to climb
them, right? Absolutely.
Yes. So by action. So maybe I would take a day or two just to rethink it, and I start back knocking on more doors.
Joyce, we have spoken a lot on your passion about mountain, about your profession, about the challenges you faced, but you are also only one of the 17 women, UN Women Goodwill Ambassador. How does that make you feel?
I'm very honored, but it's a huge responsibility. So I can have a platform where I can help other girls and women to keep believing in their dreams and take full responsibility and give themselves the permission to dream and keep going, to believe in what they are doing. This is part of my mission, because if we want to reach gender equality in our society, there is a lot of work to do. And I believe I'm there with 0.0001% to help, but it's about all of us to help, not just me. Yeah. I'm in a position where I can push maybe more, but it's not just about one person or one organization. It is about the society to move forward towards an equal society for everybody, for women, girls, men, boys. It's about to get equal pay, equal opportunities, the equality at home, because women are, because they are the mothers, they are the ones, they have to do everything, all the house chores and work, which is like 2 full-time jobs. And this where, men also can help a lot.
Joyce, we know a lot about you by now. We know your passion, your career, your UN Goodwill Ambassador position, and a lot more. But we also know one more thing. Things have changed for you in the last 1 year. Ever since you became a mother, how do you see things now differently than how you looked at just 1 year back?
Becoming a mother, it's a life-changing. I thought that I experienced a lot of hardship, that nothing will be hard anymore. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't true. Now I look to every mother and I'm like, wow, how did you do it? The first year is hard. honestly, especially that I decided to breastfeed my baby and be there. You don't sleep, which is, it makes you really tired. And I wasn't focusing on what I usually do, like my work, my mountains. So this disconnection was really hard for me. And I really, maybe other women or mothers would relate to this. But what I learned from this experience, first, it's harder than Everest, for sure. All the seven summits, all of them. But it's what I learned is that it's about phases. So I thought when my baby was born, the first 3 months, that all my life gonna be like this, and it's not true. After 3 months, life changed. The time changed. So, and I saw growth in my own eyes, and I'm part of it. So I'm growing, my baby is growing, and growth is hard. If you want to grow anything, you need to put time and effort in it. And that's something I learned from my mountains. So now I'm applying it and I'm enjoying this phase. The first few months, I needed to adapt, but now in my mind, I understand it's just a phase. I want to enjoy it with my baby, especially from all the readings I've done. Like the first 2 years till 4 years are essential to be, with my baby.
You can say that it's most rewarding, but least paying profession. It is most rewarding, no doubt about it.
And it reshaped my life. So now just to be with you, I need to have a specific schedule. Also with my partner, with my husband, we work hard together so I can make what I need to do, my dreams, my goals, my objectives happen. And he also, so this also is very important. The work with your partner, and it's part of gender equality.
Absolutely.
Where the husband, the man helps, support, but also I'm supporting him. So this is where we are both going forward together.
That's how we become equal.
Yes.
Joyce, we have a lot of women who are listening to us, who are dreamers, who want to make change. Any message for them?
If you want to create change, start with your own life. Change your life. Work on your aspiration. What do you want to be? And for sure, this needs a clarity and everything we talked about today during this conversation. But what really is essential, especially as women, because we are trained to serve others, to give others, we are trained from our mothers, for sure, depending on your culture. But I believe it's a trait where everywhere, because women are nurturer, like they nurture and they forget about themselves. So what I would say, be faithful to your dream. And this is where you will never stop working for your dream. Sometimes you will stop. Sometimes you will have a break. You will have a baby and it's okay. So what I mean by a baby, not it's okay to have the baby. No, it's okay to stop, to pause, to give the present moment and enjoy it. This is now the phase of my own life. I am on not a full pause because I was last year, but now I'm on a different speed. But I keep growing. Yeah. I keep working on my project and I'm faithful to my dreams, to my next goal. And this is very important to keep going forward.
I think that's a beautiful message for all the women listeners. Thank you, Joyce, for this message. Thank you, Dr. Joyce, for being with us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me and for this very interesting conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you for watching us. Stay connected, subscribe to our channel, and don't miss our next podcast.